की सरगर्मियां बढ़ रही हैं। 12 दिसंबर वी नाउ नो दैट वी आर गोइंग फॉर द इलेक्शन। ब्रेक्जिट का तो पता नहीं क्या होगा, लेकिन इलेक्शन होना पक्का है। लेकिन दूसरी तरफ जैसे ठंड बढ़ने लगी है, वैसे हमारे दिमाग में एक बात जो हमें ज्यादा से ज्यादा परेशान करती है, वो ये है कि हमारी अपनी सुरक्षा, प्रोटेक्शन, और हमारे जो लव्ड वंस हैं, हमारे माता पिता हैं, हमारे जो ग्रैंड पेरेंट्स हैं, उनकी सुरक्षा, उनका प्रोटेक्शन, उनको संभालना, उनको क्या होगा, उनको क्या नहीं होगा। हम कई बार ऐसा होता है कि हम काम पे रहते हैं और हमारा ध्यान हमारे घर की तरफ रहता है, हमारे बूढ़े माँ बाप या हमारे जो ग्रैंड पेरेंट्स हैं उनकी तरफ रहता है, उनकी चिंता हमें सताती रहती है। कई बार ऐसा लगता है कि काश हम किसी एक असिस्टेंट को अफोर्ड कर सकते, घर में किसी को ऐसे को रख सकते कि जो हमारे माता पिता का या हमारे ग्रैंड पेरेंट्स का ध्यान रखता। लेकिन साहब, इस चिंता को सॉल्व किया जा सकता है। ये जो एक वरी है, उसका सॉल्यूशन शायद निकाला जा सकता है। और उसका सॉल्यूशन लेके आज हमारे स्टूडियो में हमारे मेहमान बने हैं एक बहुत ही यंग एंटरप्रेन्योर। मैं स्वागत करता हूं, वेलकम वासु सरीन।
Thank you for having me.
Vasu, welcome to MATV studio, and it's really nice कि you know at a very young age you're thinking something very different. Most of the time जो young बच्चे हैं जो कॉलेज फिनिश कर रहे हैं, जो कॉलेज में फिनिश कर चुके हैं, उनका मेनली प्लान ये होता है कि कहीं अच्छा सा सिक्योर जॉब ढूंढ लें, है ना, और बैंक में सर्विस कर लें, कहीं चार्टर्ड अकाउंटेंट के पास सर्विस कर लें, जहाँ पे जो फ्यूचर है वो सिक्योर हो जाए, है ना। नॉट मेनी यंग पीपल इन दीज डेज, मतलब देयर माइट बी फ्यू बट कंपैरेटिवली 100 में से 10 ऐसे होंगे, 90% ये होता है कि कहीं एक जॉब ढूंढ ले, सिक्योर हो जाए। वेरी वेरी रेयरली, वेरी सेल्डम दैट ए यंग पर्सन थिंक्स टू स्टार्ट हिज और हर ओन बिजनेस। ठीक है, तो ये एक बहुत अपने आप में बड़ी बात है। और शायद ये जो अनसिक्योर्ड फीलिंग जो होती है यंगस्टर्स के दिमाग में, शायद यही ब्रेक्जिट का डिसीजन भी लेगी कि ब्रेक्जिट किस तरफ जाएगा वो। Anyway, so we'll leave Brexit on one side. First of all, I want to ask you,
yes,
to tell our viewers what is your product.
Yeah, so to tell you what the product is, I have to start with a story.
Okay.
So the reason I began this journey, I started it, I guess the beginnings of it were in 2015.
Yeah.
But I didn't officially begin creating something till 2017.
Right.
But back in 2015, my dadi, who is a very strong, independent Desi woman, but she's only about this high, a very short woman. But she's very strong and she loves to do everything herself. Very independent lady, and doesn't like people babying her, basically.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, in this occasion, कोई घर पे नहीं था. हम सब बाहर गए हुए थे, काम पे, स्कूल पे, uni पे, that kind of thing. And unfortunately, when she was going out the side of our house, she was taking the bins out, and the bins are about the same size as her, height-wise, probably heavier than her.
Yes.
But what ended up happening is she slipped. She slipped and she smacked her head on the bins, fell to the floor, and nobody was at home.
Right.
So we didn't know what happened. God knows how long she was crying out for help for. We sadly just don't know. But what ended up happening is when we got home, we saw her with the marks on her knees, the marks on her head, and she'd just forgotten what had happened. She just got on with her day.
Right.
She was in the kitchen just getting on with her day. I mean, she must have watched some TV at some point. I get short-term amnesia, right? She completely forgot about it, and obviously in that situation, you panic. You're like,
oh my God,
bhai, if ye fir ho jaye, kya hoga? You know, like there's no one. If there is no one there next time, maybe she won't be able to get back up. Kya pata kya ho jaye agli baar? You know, life is very delicate. Life is you got to be careful.
That's right.
And so we went straight to kind of like social care side of things, looked at panic alarms we could get for her. She didn't like anything.
Right.
So the panic alarm you put around your neck, the necklace one,
हाँ जी,
वो कहती थी कि मेरे सारे दोस्त मुझे बूढ़े बुलाते हैं अब. So then you start like, अब क्या कहो, you know, अब क्या कहो, and forced her to wear it. She used to hide it underneath her jumpers or hide it some places in the house.
Okay.
And then it just becomes useless. You know, you're paying for something and it becomes useless. Looked at other things of small boxes that you can keep in the house where button the bow, it will call the call center, you can talk to them. But then her logic was, which to be honest, I understand and I get it. Her logic was कि if मैं यहाँ गिरूँ, वो वहाँ है, मैं क्या करूँगी? I'm still in the same situation. So looking at all of that and understanding her need to be socially accepted as well, I looked at creating something for her.
Right. Now this is in 2015.
So 15 is when this happened.
This happened.
I didn't get the opportunity to start.
Let me ask you something.
Yeah.
When this happened, you were in school, uni, you were in college?
So sixth form.
Sixth form.
Last year sixth form.
Right.
Exam period.
So when that happened, you came home and you saw all that.
Yeah.
Did you get angry? Did you feel frustrated? Because I know all the dadis are same, dadis and dadas. They don't like people tell them what to do.
Yep.
They don't like people telling them, treating them like a child, right? कि मैंने तेरे को बड़ा किया, मैंने तेरे को पैदा किया,
Exactly.
मैंने तेरी nappy change की है,
Exactly.
and you're trying to tell me what to do. So
Exactly.
what was the feeling? Was it frustration? Was it worry? Was it anger?
Yeah, of course. So it was, my dad handled the anger side of things.
Okay.
I was more on the worry side.
Right.
Because I was more like, you know, I've grown up around a strong, independent woman who's shaped a lot of who I am today.
Right.
But seeing her in such a vulnerable state where potentially I couldn't do much, that was the scary part.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. So you saw that. And at that time, were you studying science or?
I was studying econ, IT, and business.
Okay.
So nothing science
Nothing
related.
to do with science or anything.
Exactly.
Okay. So then what happened?
Yeah. So I mean, there's a lot of stuff where I always think if you don't try and understand things yourself, no one's going to hand feed you knowledge.
Yeah.
So didn't really get a chance. I had, you know, when you come up with an idea, you have something that you want to do. It's not an instant thing, you know, it takes some time. And I didn't get the opportunity to go forward with what I wanted to do until 2017 when I was at uni.
Right.
That's when I began looking into it. I went to the library, read some nursing books, read some books in doctorate to understand where this is coming from. Talked to some problems as well occurring. And then we produced a solution. And it basically is, it allows for someone to feel comfortable with it in their life without any social stigmatism.
Right.
But also it kind of gives security to family, saying कि if मैं नहीं हूँ वहाँ, ये है.
हाँ, अगर कोई नहीं है तो something is there which can take care of that person.
Exactly. And the important thing is, it's not something you have to buy specifically for that use.
Okay.
शुरू से मेरे दिमाग में यही था, if my dadi doesn't want to buy a specific product because she doesn't want it, she thinks it's old, we shouldn't have to force that upon her. We should, as a society, we should work towards something that they actually are comfortable using. Same with a kid, you know, you wouldn't force on very tight jeans for a kid, you know, like if I had a son, I wouldn't say you have to wear these kapde. If he's not comfortable in it, it's not comfortable.
So when that happened to your dadi, now this is very important. Did you actually study the psychology of the old people? Did you look around other old people, you know, those who are, you know, walking with the crutches and things like that, and who always need a care? How did you, I mean, before you started the invention, which you come up with and which we are about to talk, before you came up with the invention, what was the line of your study apart from your regular studies? What did you study? What did you think? How did you come to conclusion that this is what I want to make?
Right, of course. So I was doing business management at university, nothing related to the medical side of things. But again, like I said, I think no one's going to spoon feed you knowledge unless you go for it yourself. So my focus was in two areas. One side of things is obviously from a business background, I understand market research is very, very important. But also another side is also that I need to understand what to research and how effectively to do it. So what I remember is in that same year, 2017, with one of my university friends, we made a list of 10 different care homes near my university campus. And I was lucky enough that he had a car. So
Right.
we drove around, went to these care homes, talked to them, just
Okay.
understood a few things, took a survey, simply just understood them. What the worst they'll say is, no, go away.
Yeah, go away.
They did say that. Some of
Yeah.
them did say that. But the reality is, if you don't do that, you
Right.
won't understand things from the point of view of people and why they end up in care homes, etc. as
Okay.
well. So we talked to individuals who are in the care home as well as managers there, etc. as well. Then I also talked to older individuals who are like through my personal family network, stuff like that. So obviously my dadi I talked to her friends,
Yeah.
I talked to my friends' daddies, stuff like that to better understand things. Then I did a survey as well, a digital one, where I'd send it to people and say, fill this out, let me know your views, that kind of thing. So I tried to build as much of a knowledge base as I could, as quickly as I could, about the topic, but in different areas. So one is the person who'll be buying it for their family, and one is obviously the individual who'll be using it, because there's two sides
Yeah,
to
there's
this.
two
We have to
sides.
think about, yeah.
And there is one more side, which
Yeah.
is financing it.
Of course.
Yeah. Now, this is the background
Hanji.
which encouraged you to invent something which will be useful to people who can't afford a nanny or can't afford an assistant.
Yes.
So that's a huge expense, especially in this country.
Of course.
But something which keep them connected with their loved ones, the
course.
people who need some attention. Now, tell our viewers about the product itself.
Yeah, of course. So again, I took that from the approach that I had with my daddies, along
Right.
with the market research that I kind of did, and I understood that, look, individuals, especially the digital side of things, people are growing a lot. People adopt a lot of phone devices, a lot of digital devices. For example, my daddy loves WhatsApp.
Yeah.
She talks to all her friends. She called me. She wouldn't get off the phone. She loves
WhatsApp has changed people's lives.
Exactly. But it's brought a very powerful technology to the hands of these individuals. It's provided them with phones, with other devices. I see so many people just walking around with Fitbits on, you know, competing with friends on how many steps they do, stuff like that. I see people with Apple Watches and stuff as well. There's so broad range of devices people are using now. And I believe the statistic is people over 60, around 70% of them have devices that are capable of holding apps. So we want to leverage that, obviously. So when you look at other companies, they produce hardware, spend millions on it, charge you millions to use it. My approach and the company's approach really is towards saying, look, you've got a device. You may have multiple devices or you may only have one. Why don't we use that? Why do you have to purchase something specifically to take care of you as an individual? You know, you should be able to decide upon what you want to adopt and not have it forced upon you. Same approach we did. So we connect with phones. We connect with Apple Watches, we connect with Google Homes, etc. And on the phone, simple app, very simple. It's discreet, sits in the background. All they have to do is press a button. Easy as. Same thing on the phone, we have a widget as well. So if you want to do it from the lock screen, swipe, press a button, done. Simple. Sends a text notification to family saying where you are, sends a Google Maps link so family can easily click direct me there, and so they can go there if there's an issue. And also sends the person's phone number so they can call directly as well if necessary. And then on the watch side, we also do heart rate monitoring. Meaning if someone goes through, so this is another part of the research. We understood that if koi gir raha hai, ya koi problem hai, their body gives that natural reaction where their heart rate rises. We can pick up on that heart rate rise and automatically set off a panic alarm to family, letting them know. Meaning, you're talking about it being done all automatically. No button, nothing needs to be pressed. And it's on a device they decided to adopt that they're using for other things, not just this. Because the whole approach for us is it should be discreet, easy to use, and it shouldn't be something that you use only for that purpose.
Now tell us what are the devices? Give me an example, maybe. You know, that a person who is 70 years old person, 75 years old person, who's got nobody at home, maybe their children, grandchildren, they stay away from them. You know, they are staying on their own because the people got their own lives with them. And that person wants to stay in touch, or the children, grandchildren wants to stay in touch with that person. How do they go about it?
So the way we say it is, I can actually show you here. So what we do is, let's assume someone has a simple mobile phone. This is just simplest integration. All they have to do is, quickly unlock it. They have the app on there. And so this is what family would see. Simple button at the top for panics, and then a simple immediately call button. This will call family members.
Now hold on to that. Before we, I mean, of course, we'll continue with that. But for those who are wondering what we're talking about, and if you want to know more, about this device and rest of it, you can always log on to the website, which we will be showing in a minute. And there is an email address. You can send the email address and get more information. There is a website you can log on to, and it should be on the screen very, very soon. So you can have a look and you can read about it, and you can send an email, and they will get back to you. Yes, also please continue.
Yeah, so it's very easy. Once the app's downloaded, it literally just looks like this for older individuals. So all they have to do is hold the button for 3 seconds. It'll start a countdown. Once the countdown's done, it will send. Right. Otherwise, obviously for the situations when they can't press it, it's just a simple widget. They can just press the widget, and it'll automatically set a panic alarm off.
Right.
And then once that's done, family get a text.
Right.
That's easy as the way to set it up.
Right.
Family on their phones download the Tab Care app. They put in all the details of the individual and themselves.
Right.
They sign up, and then all they have to do, download the app on the individual's phone, scan the code.
Right.
Done.
And you were talking about the wristwatch.
Yes.
Yeah.
So on the Apple Watch, same side of thing. Download the app onto the individual's phone.
Right.
It'll download the app onto the Apple Watch as well.
Right.
They click it. They sign in as per the account details, and it's simple as done.
And is it?
We do have Google Home as well. That one's the best one.
Okay.
Yeah.
So how does that work?
Google Home one I love because my dadi loves it as well.
Okay.
My dadi is in India right now.
Right. Okay.
And sometimes there are occasions when she doesn't want to carry anything on.
That's
She's
right.
just around the house. She wants to eat food, watch TV, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So the Google Home is amazing for that. It takes away the one main issue that people have with keeping devices on them.
Yeah.
Kahin bhi kone mein rakh do.
ठीक है.
The person can use it to listen to their music, whatever they want, but
Right.
only when they have an issue they can say, and hopefully no one has a Google Home because it'll invoke if I say it now.
Yeah.
But all they have to say is, "Hey Google, panic tab."
Right.
4 words. Once they say that, we'll begin asking questions as to what's happened,
Right.
and then let family know exactly that.
Okay.
Yeah. And again, this is not a replacement for 999 though.
Yeah.
It is just a panic alarm in the sense of family can be notified.
Okay.
Yeah.
So another question. Now that you said that it can be downloaded on your
Yes.
mobile phone,
Mobile phones.
it
Yeah.
can be downloaded on your watch,
Yep.
Apple Watch.
Yes.
So is it can it be downloaded on any mobile phones, or it has to be a?
Of course. So right now we're only working on Apple phones, so
Okay.
iOS.
Yeah.
But we are in January. It'll be on Android as well.
Right.
But that doesn't mean that if you have an Android phone as a family member, you can't get notifications because the notifications come by text. If you
Right.
contact us, we'll set everything up
Right.
so that the individual only has to quickly log in on their iOS device or Google Home device, and then Android phones can get a text.
Right.
So, yeah.
And it's the app is available on Apple Store.
Yes.
Yeah. So
And we give 7 days that you can try it out without any
so
obligations.
no obligation.
No obligation.
7 days
7
free
days.
trial.
Yes.
Now, so now let's put it in a practicality. Say
Yeah.
Mr. XYZ,
Yeah.
yes, he or she contacted you
Of course.
that, look, I need to have this device or this app for my father, my mother,
Mhm.
or my daughter-in-law will call you and set it up with blah,
Yeah.
blah, blah, whichever way they contact
course.
you. What is the next step? They contact you?
Yeah, they contact us.
Mhm.
We understand their requirements.
Yeah.
And then we'll come and install it, or we'll send an email that will describe how to do it. Depends on what the person requires and how far they are from where we're based.
Right.
But for the phone app side of things, if we know someone is better suited for that, it's very easy. We just send the link, they can download it. Easy setup, very simple. We'll give the guide, very
Right.
easy. With the Google Home side of things, if required, we can come install it. Otherwise, again, we can send a
Right.
guide. Very simple.
Now, please tell our viewers the website address.
So www.tab.care. It's a very good address because Tab Care is the company name.
Yeah,
Tab
yeah.
Care. Yeah.
So www.tab.
Yeah. tab.care. Okay.
Okay. And what's the email address?
So my personal email address, which I'd love you guys to email me on, is Vasu, so VASU @tab.care.
Right. Whenever I say your name or I mention your name, I remember a movie.
Right.
Yeah, it was long time, I think before your birth, maybe. Tere mere beech mein kaisa hai bandhan anjana.
Okay.
There was a song.
Okay.
But the hero and heroine were Vasu and Sapna. It was Kamala Hassan and another very beautiful actress from South India.
Okay.
So Vasu and Sapna.
Vasu and Sapna.
Also, coming back to your invention, and
Yes.
as you said that your dadi, your grandmother had an accident. She had a fall and she injured herself, and she did not remember it because of other medical issues. And eventually, it hurt you, and that worry led you to work on this, and you brought this up.
Yeah,
right?
of course. Yeah.
During the period of 2017 to 2019, it took you good. First, from 2015 to 2017, you did all your research and you finally decided this is what I want to do. This is how it will look. This is most of the people will love. Most of the people easily understand. It is accessible for most of the people. Now, during those 2 years' time, first 2 years and then next 2 years, so 17 to 19, when you were doing your survey, when you were research, when you're talking to people, what was your experience? Was it easy? Was it tough? Was it frustrating sometimes?
Yeah,
Tell
of
us.
course. So being a startup that we are, I took a very good approach that if I was on the other side of this and I was trying to get this for my grandmother, what assurances would I want, and kind of what would I want from a company who's doing the same thing? So at the core of it, a panic alarm sounds very simple. Everyone's doing it for 50, 20, 100 years. People have been doing panic alarms. If it's a bell, if anything, but the way we see it is the form factor, and the way we've done it is a good evolution on what has been previously. And we're not really stopping there, really. So what we wanted to do first is we looked at the mistakes other companies made. Now, in terms of the way you said, if it's been easy or it's been difficult. So as a startup, it's never easy. But that's the fun of it, right? No one starts a startup because it's like this. People started for specific things. Some people started for personal stories. Some people started for other things. Everyone has their own way. Mine was obviously this personal story, but through the last 3 years, it hasn't been simple. But I liked that because it meant what we're doing here is something that needs to be achieved. Because I read his book by Peter Thiel, 0 to 1. It basically says anything worth doing, any market worth going into as a company, if it's easy, people will already be doing it, and there's no point entering it. If it's impossible, no point doing it. The golden place is when it's hard, when it's difficult, and when you have to go through a lot to be able to do it. Because that's when, on one side, you're doing the right thing, and on the second side, you're going to make a meaningful difference at the end of the journey. So, sorry, coming back to it then, in terms of companies who've looked at this, we looked at every company that's entered and then left, or the companies that are also within it. So competitor analysis we did. There's big companies in here like Tunstall, Buddy, John Tech, you name it, they're in the industry, right? But they've all done the same thing for 20, 30 years. They produce the same stuff. They've done the exact same thing. And their hardware is good. Their products are great. It's just, I think, as the market is evolving, they are yet to take the first steps into the digital age, which I no doubt they will. They will. But this is where we really learn. And this is where startups thrive. We're so flexible. Though, for example, we've pivoted hundreds of times. It's the best thing about a startup. We can pivot like that. We see an issue, boom, changed, sorted, done. That's one of the best parts, but that's also the difficult part, when you have to look at yourself and say you've made a mistake. Now, I personally have an ethos, and I like to make sure everyone in the team is aware of this as well, and they hold by very similar values, that if everything is perfect, you've made a mistake. If you are making mistakes, you're learning, things are evolving, things are moving forward. The problem you have is when everything is perfect, you got no issues. That's when there's a big issue. There's danger. There's no evolution. Nothing's moving forward. And so by that logic, we wanted to look at what people have done wrong, but we wanted to make our own mistakes as well. So over the last 3 years, what we did, we wanted to make sure the way we distribute this is through councils, because we understood that people trust councils and they understand that, look, if I'm looking for something within social care, this is where we'd go.
Now, before we go to that part, I want to ask you something. This is a business question.
Yes.
Most of the people who do business or who do their MBAs and business studies, there is one particular thing. When you bring a new product in the market which sounds familiar to other products, then the question comes, what is your USP?
Of course. Of course.
What is yours?
So we took it in two ways. We wanted to understand the market first. So this is a market that hasn't been differentiated heavily on in a long time. But we have to be careful with the way differentiation is done. So one of the mistakes a lot of companies have made in this market is they've gone and said, let's innovate like crazy. Let's take this to the next step, 100 years ahead. No consumer wants to adopt it. For example, I won't name the company name, but they came up with a product which basically was putting sensors within the house to replace traditional care, where you've got like door sensors, cameras in the house, looking at someone, keeping an eye on them, and then flagging irregularities. Right. They stopped that in August. They ended it. Right. The reality is people are not ready for something that advanced. It's personally speaking, I wouldn't even put a camera inside my own house. I get weary when it's outside a house. Okay, then it's still, what if someone's able to access it? And people don't want to be looked at 24/7. They already get that outside, you know.
That's right.
You know? When you're in your own house, it's your own space. You should have it on your own terms. And that's one of the mistakes we wanted to make sure we avoided completely. So the way we differentiate on one side is discretion. Nothing happens. We don't track anything. We don't share any data at all. And even when we do, in the sense of when you press the panic button, it'll go to family. It's only from you to family. We don't share it with any advertisers. We don't do anything. We only use it to make the service better. And even then, it is only done for that. No advertisers, nobody else sees what you're doing.
Complete secrecy.
Complete secrecy.
Now, who are your, for now, okay. Now, who are your main customers? You were talking about the councils right now. So tell us about, these.
Yeah, so we want to work directly with councils. We've already got 2 councils on board. We're going to launch with them in January. We've got around 7 others who are in our pipeline to begin trials. One has already begun. We're a small team, so we've got to be careful the way we implement. But the way we work is we sell directly to the councils. They'll then provide it to the individual. Either they retail it back onto the customer, or they absorb the cost and pass it on. That's down to them. We take our hands up. We just set the prices. That's it.
Okay.
But yeah, that's how we work.
When I remember when, in about 20, 30 years ago in India, if a middle class family, their child says, you know what, I want to go and bat because I want to become a batsman, he would be beaten up badly, and he will be told that it's not for you. You will starve. You will die of starvation because not everyone plays cricket. That has changed now. Similarly, when one young boy, when he says, I want to do business, the parents and the society in general is not very happy, because they say, iska dimag kharab ho gaya hai, and wo bhi aisa, कोई चीज बेच रहा होता, बनी बनाई चीज, ठीक है, पापड़ बेच रहा, आलू बेच रहा है, ये पता नहीं क्या टैप क्या निकाल के बैठा है, कौन लेगा? What was your family's opinion about this?
So I'm quite lucky in the sense that my family they probably had some sleepless nights to do with it, but they understood my point of view. So I think the one thing that helped me to get my point across to them and why I was doing it is because of the story, because they were all aware of how we went through it. So they understand where the problems are. And I think that's one personal story where potentially anyone could relate to, because we've all got a dadi or a dadu or someone who we care about, be that even a child, for example, I've got a sister, she's 13, got it on her phone because it's easier. It keeps it on her terms as well, because unlike other solutions, it's not sharing location 24/7. She decides when we're meant to know about what's happening.
That brings another thing to my mind. Unfortunately, in India, some part of India, especially Delhi and Punjab and also those sides, in last few years, there are lots of abductions. Girls are abducted, taken away, treated badly, abused and all that. Do you think this can help them?
Well, I guess it's difficult to say if it will, but the reality is, if you've got a very discreet app on your phone, which you can just slide quietly, press a button, everyone knows your location, that there's an issue, it can alert people a lot before something bad happens. Because I know, for example, with my sister, if she's ever in a situation where she doesn't feel comfortable. She can't pick up a phone to call. She needs to be very careful with what she does. It could be a simple situation, you know. She's uncomfortable with the people around her, and she feels if she picks it up, something might happen. So it's one of those. You can quietly just swipe left, press. Family knows where you are, what's happened. They can call you up, so it doesn't seem.
Okay. So I mean, broadly thinking,
so potentially it could help.
Yeah, broadly thinking, it could help lots of those people who may be in danger, who may feel situations in their daily life. So it can be useful for all those people as well. As you correctly said, your 13-year-old sister who goes to school and all that, she carries one.
She's got the app on her phone. It's easy. Mom keeps an eye on it.
Okay. Another thing is, so is it limited to UK, Europe, or it can be
everywhere?
Anywhere?
Yeah, everywhere. The beauty is, so with the app side of things, it's available everywhere on any Apple device. You've got App Store on it. It's all available.
Right. So it is available anywhere, literally. Wherever
India,
there is Wi-Fi, or you need Wi-Fi there.
Yeah, I mean, you need to download. You need to be able to download the app. So you need to have Wi-Fi available, or 4G, or something. 3G.
Right. So Wi-Fi connection is important.
Yes.
Okay. And in around the world, or also in UK?
So in the UK, you've got 4G and stuff like that, because phones have 4G. It's a little easier. In other places like India as well, I know there's a lot of manufacturers coming out in India where there's cheaper phones, you know, easier to use phones. So for that, it's quite good, because then you get SIM plans, 4G. Like the competition in India in terms of cell networks is insane. Everyone's providing
but
plans.
This can be, I mean, if you have enough data on your phone, it can be used.
It's very easy. The thing is, because it's not constantly sending, it just sits in the background, only sends when necessary. It doesn't even use that much data.
So if you have a data, it's okay.
Yeah, exactly.
Now, I don't think we will be able to quote exactly that this is how much it's going to cost. But just in terms of, say, you know, a middle class people, you belong to a upper middle class family. You have seen your heydays and all that. Do you think it is affordable for most of the people?
Oh, definitely. I don't think I can name exactly how much, but when we put into perspective in terms of just the app side of things compared to what the panic alarm is, a fraction.
So it is easily affordable.
Significantly, yes.
So let me just rewind it and play it again. So this can be downloaded on your mobile. For now, it's iPhone only, but very soon it will be also available on Android phones also. It can be the wristwatch, right?
So Apple Watch, Apple phone, so iPhones, Google Homes. But again, if you don't have an iPhone, because it's text notifications, you can still get a Google Home, call us up, and we can sort that out as well.
How long will it take to this to be available on Androids?
January.
So it's not too far.
It's not too far.
New Year. So it's only 2 months time when it is
exactly.
Also available.
But like I said, if it's in the home environment, Google Home is sitting there. We can send the text to any Android phone as well. So it's not
Once this is downloaded, uploaded with the concerned people. So say, for example, one side is the son. And on the other side is mother, right? Mother is home, son is working. There are situations where, husband and wife both are working and they have got old people at home. Unfortunately, they cannot afford a midwife, or not midwife, but assistant, or a servant, because it's very, very expensive in this country. And they're still worrying, but the circumstances are such that they cannot stay home and look after. So in that case, they download the app on their mobile and their mother's mobile. Now, once they have done that, do they still need you, or it's automatically done?
So to be honest, even from the beginning, if you have an iPhone, you never need to even come to me. You can just download the app and it'll tell you exactly how to do it and everything. You never actually need to talk to anyone at the company.
So you are not required.
Not exactly. I'm not required.
You are in background, but you're not actually required.
Exactly.
So if the app is downloaded, is there a one-off charge, or there is a subscription?
So it is monthly, but it follows the same model traditional panic alarms do. It's monthly because then it means you can stop it whenever you want.
Whenever you want.
And you can say, I don't want to use it anymore. it's
Okay,
your
so
choice.
there is no commitment as such.
No
You don't
commitment.
have to subscribe for 12 months. If you don't,
Exactly.
you'll be charged 6 months fees,
Exactly.
this, that, blah, blah,
Exactly.
no,
No.
nothing.
So we work on the basis that 7 दिन देते हैं.
Okay.
7 दिन में use, if you
Yeah,
don't
if
want to use it beyond that,
Yeah.
cancel कर लो.
Okay.
If you want to continue using it,
Yeah.
you continue using it, and then it's billed monthly. So if
Right.
you stop it before the billing, you won't get charged.
Right. So
Yeah.
you can have it only for a month also.
If you want it, yeah.
You don't have, say many times what happens, and I'm telling you
Yeah.
this of my experience,
Mm.
that many a times parents are visiting from India, Africa, Kenya,
Exactly. Perfect for that.
Bangladesh, Pakistan,
Exactly.
and then the children, those who are here, who
course.
invite them here,
They want to keep an eye when they're at
they
work.
want to keep an eye because they are
Fully
working
understand.
out there.
Fully
Yeah,
understand.
and then
Yes.
they sometimes they unnecessarily pata nahi
Of
kya ho
course.
gaya.
Of course.
Sometimes the people at home, their mobile phone either switched off or the
course.
batteries run down,
Yeah.
and then they are called, and then when they don't pick, the children
Mm.
in the offices, they start getting worried, pata nahi kya ho gaya, pata
course,
nahi
of
phone nahi
course.
utha
Yeah,
rahe,
yeah.
phone nahi utha rahi
Yeah,
hai. Sometimes the young kids are with their parents. Correct?
Yep.
So I think it is a very good idea for those who have their parents for only time being
Exactly.
to try this out.
Exactly.
They are not committed कि नहीं यार एक साल तो रखना पड़ेगा ऐसा कुछ
Exactly.
नहीं.
And जब देखोगे
हाँ.
कि 7 दिन बाद क्या
क्या
cost
हो रहा है, is it
potentially
useful?
आएगा,
हाँ.
it won't be a worry. I
Yeah.
can promise you that now.
It will not put a hole in your pocket, that's for sure.
Not even
but
a pin.
yeah,
pin
but
hole.
it will definitely provide you huge satisfaction,
Exactly.
peace of mind.
Exactly.
You can concentrate in your work, and you can then come and enjoy with your parents. Correct?
Exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly.
so-
And it's good for kids as well. So the one thing I was showing this off to, I can't mention the bank, but we were working with the Parents and Carers Network
Right.
for a bank. And the head of that network, she basically mentioned that her daughter requires her kids to be trained with these
Right.
buttons to be able to tell the responders what's happening.
Right.
And when I told her and showcased to her how to use the Google Home one or the phone one, she's like, oh, my kid the kid will pick that up in 2 seconds. I don't need to teach her anything.
Right.
That's so easy.
Okay.
How much is it again? Can I try one? You know what I mean? So
Wonderful.
there's so many different possibilities.
Now
of usage.
we will be going to a commercial break shortly. Also, we have got another 6-7 minutes. Yeah, we are almost on the verge of completing this program. We got 6 minutes left. I wanted to ask you one more thing.
Okay.
Now say that everybody's agreed and we are going to, they decided to take the app. They want to take it for maybe 1 year, whatever. Is there a possibility that they can set up a bank, direct debit, and all this
So
kind
it's
of
all
things?
done through the App Store.
Yeah,
So
okay.
As long as they've got their card set up,
Right.
it's a very simple process.
So
it gets done how they want to.
no headache of
headache,
going through
exactly.
the forms and this
Nothing.
and that.
It's a simple button.
Okay, identification. It's all done by.
It's all done
App
through
Store.
the
So
App Store.
They don't have to go through all this headache. Sometimes because you want your ID, this, that, and lot. You send this, that.
Council still require that.
Okay, so
Yeah.
simple, very
Very easy.
simple.
Very easy.
You go on the App Store, you download. What's the name of the company?
Tab Care. So on the App Store, you can search Tab Care. So TABCARE, no spaces when you're searching on the App Store.
Right.
That's it. You can download it and
Why
enjoy.
do you name it Tab Care?
So it's quite an interesting story. So the name of a company is one thing which it's like the name of a band, right? When you're a kid and you're setting up a band with your friends, you always think about it. Okay, we want to be called this, this, and this. But for this, it kind of almost named itself because it's like keeping a tab on someone's care.
Right.
So it almost just came out in general speech when I was talking in university with a few friends, and then I was like, well, that's actually quite good. And the domain was available, so you could register tab.care. It just worked out. It just clicked. Yeah.
I still believe that you're still studying, correct?
So I graduated just in July.
Okay.
But I'm going to be starting my master's next year.
Congratulations. How you divide your time between your studies? Because while you were developing it, you were studying. So how do you divide your time between these two?
So my mom will probably say something else, but I tried to make it as honest as I could. So for example, with uni, in my final year, I was meant to be in around three times a week, was like full days. I wanted to put my all into this
Right.
because I understood what my goals were in terms of uni and what I could get out of it.
Right.
So I, from the beginning, knew as soon as I took this on that I wouldn't have enough time to go for a
Right.
first at university. So I just went for 2-1. I knew how to achieve that, and so I actually only went in university on Mondays. Sorry, Mum. Every week, and besides that, I was just working on this fully. Kiki, I think it's one of those that when you know what you want to achieve and you know potentially how to, it's just the drive. It'll keep you going, and especially with uni work. I think if someone just puts their head down, traditionally you should just be able to achieve what you set out. If you want to achieve a first, you probably do need to put the time in for that. But I had to balance those and understand that at the end of the day, you can't have everything.
Yeah.
You have to find a balance, and this was mine.
Yeah. So Tab Care it is. Yeah.
Tab Care,
Can we
yes.
just repeat the website address again?
Yeah,
and
sure.
Email, please.
So www.tab.care. Otherwise, you can just Google Tab Care. It should be the first link at the top. Otherwise, my email, if you want to find out more or anything like that, is vasu@tab.care. So VASU @tab.care.
So we were talking to Vasu Sareen, who is an upcoming entrepreneur. बहुत ही जल्दी एक बहुत बड़ा businessman बन जाएगा ये. Or then I'll probably waiting for his autograph. But Vasu,
Yes.
what a fantastic idea.
Thank
And
you
I'm
so
really
much.
moved with your story. And I hope that this product brings lots of peace and comfort to your mind. Vasu Sareen from Tab Care. Ladies and gentlemen, इसी के साथ में आज का प्रोग्राम MATV स्पेशल समाप्त होता है. फिर कभी आपकी और हमारी फिर मुलाकात होगी, लेकिन तब तक के लिए अपना ख्याल रखिएगा. Wrap yourself up properly because the winter is knocking on your door. Have a very good night. Thank you. Namaste.